warns that if the air is too dry, that too can become a fire danger. The Secretary of Agriculture spent Wednesday afternoon at the White House, but not before offering his perspective on current trade talks and insight on President Trump's strategy. RFD-TV's Sarah Mock has the story from USDA in Washington.
Secretary Perdue says White House tariffs are an opportunity.
This may be the way to get the NAFTA deal done, using steel tariffs in that way. But I think probably those of us in the agricultural sector are rightfully concerned and somewhat anxious over retaliatory measures. Particularly, we know historically agriculture has been sort of the tip of the spear, the bullet that's fired first, and where many countries feel like they can affect our decision-making.
Despite anxiety, the Secretary says he believes the President can use the current threats to the U.S.'s advantage.
I plan to tell the President he's got them just where he wants them, and let's use this off-balance technique here to decide what we would like in exchange for that, whether it's Mexico, Canada, or our EU partners as well. Canada has been fairly reticent and maybe even intransigent over some of the issues of discussing in NAFTA, and if this has an impact in us completing a beneficial NAFTA deal for the United States producers, then that's a great result.
Perdue says he thinks the president might not fully enforce his announced steel and aluminum tariffs on all countries, using them instead as a bargaining chip to gain concessions, particularly from our NAFTA partners. But he acknowledges that there could be unintended consequences.
I think the president has left a window open regarding other countries. If we can, again, maintain relationships with our allies that make sense. I think the concern that many of us have is that most people believe that China has been the real issue, and this will alienate us against our allies that we need in order to compete with China.
Perdue chalked up the president's rhetoric to his unconventional, instinctive, and intuitive negotiating style, which Perdue says has worked for Trump in business throughout his career. For RFD-TV, I'm Sarah Mock in Washington.
Thank you, Sarah. In the press briefing on Wednesday, White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders says she expects the president to sign tariffs on steel and aluminum by the end of the week, but it could include carve-outs for Mexico and Canada and possibly other countries as well on a case-by-case basis. The Plant-Based Foods Association says it wants the next